In a previous video titled How the Illuminati Used Geometry to Design Our 2-ounce Measures, we saw examples modeling the ounces from 99.96% to 100% accuracy, where there should have been no correlation at all. Here we see the two columns that perfectly model the 2 ounces. And here, with the commensurate cylinder and tetrahedron scaled to the sphere within, which results in a 99.97% perfect model of the 2 ounces. And again, using the quantities 32 and 33, we saw that the ounce measures can be modeled in many ways, each to an accuracy of 99.96%. So now we're going to distill both ounces, again from geometry, but this time using a rare and little-known form called a decahedron. Obviously, the first question that pops up in most people's mind is, what is a decahedron? Well, it's any one of many geometric solids having 10 polygonal face planes or sides. The decahedron, that is very special to mathematics and geometry and to the Illuminati, is probably the simplest of all possible decahedrons. Its surface is comprised of 10 identical equilateral triangles and looks like this. It consists of 7 points and 10 equilateral triangles. A complementary version sees the 7 points as the centers of 7 spheres. Compare the form of this simple system of 7 spheres with that of an 8-sphere system, known as the star tetrahedron. To compare the two forms, we must first assign them a common unit of measure. If the spheres have a diameter of 1 unit, then the edge length of the geometric forms is likewise 1 unit. Now we can easily calculate and compare the two volumes. It was a surprise to me to discover, first, that the 7-point system has a greater volume than the 8-point system. And to add further to my surprise was that this 0.01375,001 volume difference is directly related to the fundamental quantities defined in the United States constitutional gold and silver coinage that was America's money for over 100 years. Have a look at this. So I have to ask, is it just a coincidence or by design that 1 times 3 times this volume, 6 times 3 times this volume, and 9 times 3 times this volume all result in the different quantities precisely mirroring the mandates of the 1792 Coinage Act? But for now, if we focus just on the decahedron and its volume of 0.60300,566, we'll discover something quite astounding. If it models a 0.60300,566 portion of 1 troy ounce, then 10 of them equal 6.0300566 troy ounces. Since a troy ounce equals 480 grains, 10 decahedrons equals 2,894.427 grains, which also happens to be a 0.41348959 portion of 1 avoirdupois pound. which is our common marketplace pound. Note, there are 7,000 grains in 1 pound. So stick with me. I think you'll get this very quickly. If this volume of grains as a 0.41348959 portion of 1 pound is packaged in the form of a regular tetrahedron, the height of this tetrahedron will be equal to the diameter of a sphere with a volume of 0.99998 pound, which is nominally 1 pound, at least to 99.998%. And if the sphere's volume was exactly 1 unit, then the height of this tetrahedron would be 0.99998, the height or diameter of a sphere. For all practical purposes, they are commensurate forms. What's more, if this tetrahedron is spun on one of its faces into a cone, the volume of the cone will equal this sphere's volume. Now, we can also illustrate this another way by going back to the tetrahedron's volume in grains. We saw previously that it contains the 10 decahedronal portions of a troy ounce, giving it 2,894.427 grains. When spun into a cone, its volume as a cone becomes 6,999.880 grains, equal to that of the commensurate sphere. Again, this is 1 pound, 7,000 grains, to a greater accuracy than any supermarket scale. So how did we arrive here at a sphere equal to 1 marketplace pound by starting with a portion of a troy ounce derived from the volume of some obscure geometric solid based on 7 spheres? A fluke of coincidence? Probably not, when we consider how our monetary measures were just seen to be inseparable from the difference measure between the 8-sphere system creating the star tetrahedron and the decahedron's 7-sphere system. What's really going on? Not just in this particular expose of occulted machinations, but also those included in the hundreds of other examples I document in my books. The geometry of money and excerpts, An Introduction to the Geometry of Form, are both available to read for free at my website, kasperskyart.com. Printed copies of The Geometry of Money and Forbidden Knowledge are also available for sale by emailing Paul at kasperskyart.com. They are respectively $20 and $25, plus a $10 charge for priority mail via the United States Postal Service.